Yo, what is up? Welcome back to another video, gamers. First of all, if you guys want to subscribe, that's appreciated. We're almost at 600 subs. That is insane. Thank you so much for that, gamers. But yeah, without further ado, won't waste any more of your time. Today we're gonna do 5 good and bad things about YBA. So basically, we're gonna start off with the good things, then we're gonna go to the bad things. First off is detail. The detail that they've been putting into the stand models are really impressive, and everything in the game itself, and like overall. SBR and the maps aren't really impressive, but the stands and the detail are really good. Like the amount of detail and like big amount of effort they've been putting into making these models is really insane. Good props to them and really good job on the sand models, and the guys that have been contracted to make them are really good at their jobs. So yeah, good job on the stand models. Next up is variety. This is especially true with the stand skins. There's so many like new stand models and like stuff and content in general in the mega updates that Uzu releases every 2 months. That's really appreciated. No new stands so far. There are a lot of options. The magic of YBAs, even if you're like really bad at the game, you can still get really good with like one of the worst stands in the game. Like if you wanted to get really good at like Mr. President, you can murder like several toes no problem. It's not impossible. But yeah, that's the magic of YBA. Even if you're really bad, you can still get good at any stand and just beat anyone with it. Next up is effects. Uzu, big props to you for the effects. They're really impressive, and the new stand and like arrow effects are really good, and what you've been adding is really good. Overall, the effects are really impressive, and really like you can tell the amount of detail that they've been putting into these effects and the stands in general. So yeah, big props to them for making the effects really good. They're just really impressive, and the fact that they've been putting actual hours into making them is insane. But yeah, really big props to Uzu for that. I respect you for putting that much effort into the effects. Next up is skill points. The amount of combinations you can make with these stands is pretty impressive. Yes, you have to use a puree. Yes, you have to use a Ruka to reset your stand stuff sometimes. But still, it's pretty worth it since you can like infinitely make like combinations and stuff that can suit your playstyle. If you just want to be defensive and you don't want to use your attacks that much, no problem, just get like a ton of vitality and not that much like offensive moves. Maybe some defensive moves. Next up, specs, and the last one. Specs are a really good addition to the game. You can make infinite combos and builds with different stands. It's probably one of the things I like admire most about YBA. Like you can make infinite builds and combos with these stands. Not a lot of people see this, but it's a pretty impressive feat to balance all of this out. Like actually be able to make infinite combinations. A lot of people say the game is dry. That's somewhat true. There's still so many videos I've been seeing, like people just starting to like try out new specs and builds. They're pretty good. Yes, the game is dry at the moment, but the specs just kind of save it, since that way you can actually have combinations with the stands and buff them a little if they're like struggling a bit. Like for example, Purple Haze, it's a pretty bad stand overall, except when you pair it with the Vamp. If Vamp just makes it a lot better, gives it his flair. You basically know where I'm going with this. Like, the specs are just a really good addition and give you infinite combinations. Really respect Uzu and the dev team for adding that at the beginning. Alright, we did the positives. Now it's time for the negatives, sadly. Alright, first up is lack of game modes. I've been so bored with the game modes so far. On SPR, you're just joining, you die in the first 7 seconds. 1v1s, you join and you die in the first 7 seconds. Every single game mode is just the same, and we need new ones. But sadly, we keep getting like useless stand skins instead of the game modes themselves. It just needs to be fixed, and we need actual content that works for the game. Makes it a lot better. Alright, also, game being dry. There's like a ton of Also, the game being really dry, there's been no updates for almost a month. Like, Uzu, you do know you can just contract like part-time developers to develop in the game and not things when you can't really develop, right? I get that he has school and stuff, but still, he can easily contract tons of developers to fix bugs and stuff instead of him doing every single like line of code. Like, it honestly just doesn't really make sense. The game could get so many updates if they actually tried. Sometimes I feel like they're not really trying to like put out a lot of content. Yeah, it's already like once every 2 months, which is pretty scarce. That's 2 months with like no new content and just a ton of stand skins that fuel us for like a few weeks. Then it just kind of gets boring. Then it like gets really boring until the next update comes out. It's like a really bad cycle, and you just lose a ton of players. Alright, also is outdated GUIs. The GUIs are just really outdated. Take SBR for example. Like, you're just trying to join an SBR. Since the GUIs like don't update live, if you click on a server that already expired, it's gonna take you to a broken server, which basically means that it's empty and it's only you and no one else can join. This is almost with every GUI. Also, like the game bug. Basically, right now he cannot make a gang for some reason, and it has been going on for almost 4 months, which is really unacceptable since so many people have been complaining about this, and the devs literally do not care about it. It's just a really like frustrating thing for the game. Right, next up is tons of bugs. There's so many bugs in the game that I cannot count. For example, the hand one where like you can clip throughout the entire map that you just jump. Then the map just creates a ton of lag in main game. There's so many bugs. I don't even want to name like all of them. But yeah, there's just a ton of them, and we just need a lot of fixes on them. As I said, if Uzu actually contracted new developers to constantly fix bugs and develop on the game itself, we will not be having this problem. But since he wants to restrict the developers, there are only like 3 or 4 devs that I know of that are currently working on the game. Just pretty underwhelming, and we need new actual devs to develop the game and add constant content to it and fixes. Lastly is the community. The community just really sucks, to be honest. Like, I just join a game, I immediately get killed. Then I just join another server, I immediately get killed. Then an SBR, just get raided by like 7 people at once. Then they just spam easy. You know where I'm going with this, to be honest. The community just really sucks. I wish it was a lot better, but sadly the staff team, for example, does not really help this, since they just kind of influence the toxic behavior, to be honest. I can't really explain how. And basically, every single time that they create drama, it just like fuels up the people and makes more hatred in the community. We honestly just need to end all the drama and start working together on the game, to be honest. But yeah, that's basically all I'm gonna do for this video. Sorry if this really sucks. It's pretty bad. But yeah, thank you for watching if you did. Might make more of these in the future. Definitely will tomorrow. But yeah, gamers, go check out my Discord server if you want. And I stream every day at 3:30 p.m. PST. But yeah, that's all I have for today, gamers. I gotta go. Won't waste any more of your time. See ya.